Society 13. Welcome to Prog-Watch with your one and only host who is the most, Prog-Watch.
Hello, all you listeners out there in Progland, and welcome back to another installment of Prog-Watch. And boy, I say it every time, but we do have a great show lined up. We are trying a new format tonight, and we have so much music, it's unbelievable.
And we actually are aware now, Tim, that we have listeners, plural, because we got some emails.
We got several emails, actually, and they were all pretty good and positive. I got one from Ruben Esau in India, who said that he very much liked the show, and he had heard us asking about, the format change up, and his idea was that we could do some shows where we focused on just two bands and gave our typical in-depth coverage, and we could do other shows where we just played more music and did less talking.
Didn't you say Ruben liked us so much that he suggested we even do a couple shows a week?
He did say that his suggestion was actually that maybe we could do it twice a week, but I kind of knew that there's just no way that's happening, right, Dave? I don't see it, not until it's the day job.
Yeah, not until it's the day job.
If it becomes the day job, I would gladly do this twice a week.
5 days a week.
Yeah, right. I'd do it
5
every day
days
of the
a
week.
week.
Yeah, but for right now, we put a lot of time in, and we have jobs and we have lives, and it's going to have to be every other week, Ruben.
Every week, actually.
Yeah.
And we also got another email that suggested something similar where we do every other week. I guess that's what you meant.
Right, yeah.
With the format.
Right, where we change up the format like every other week. We had an email from Gary Oppenheis, I guess is how you say it. He's out in Illinois. And he had some really nice things to say.
It was really nice to us.
It really kind of helps make it worthwhile when you get something like that, because he said he really appreciated our insights and our banter, and he likes what we provide when we do more in-depth coverage. So his suggestion was also maybe we could do, like, every once in a while do a show where we just focus more on music, and but not totally abandon our usual, like, 2 bands per show format. So we had 2 votes for kind of what we're going to be trying out here. Where we're going to change it up. We're not going to quit doing what we've been doing with the more in-depth coverage on 2 groups, but we are going to mix in every once in a while, maybe every other week, maybe every third week. We're going to do a show where we play more music and talk less.
And this is going to be one of those shows where we do more music.
Yes, we're going to be doing more music today.
But try talking less.
Try talking less.
Like that's going to work.
We're going to try. But anyway, we did have some other email, actually. We had a fellow named Paul Dorwang who suggested that we need to get Dave Kerzner on the show. And I've been hearing a lot of good buzz about Dave Kerzner, and I got his album, and I love it. And as soon as this Paul contacted me, I tried to contact Dave, and I got in touch with him right away, and he was very cool. So we got Dave Kerzner on today, and his previous project. We're going to play some of that too, Sound of Contact, the project that he had with Simon Collins, who is actually the son of Phil Collins.
Yeah, it sounds like, as you said, Tone, a really great show. And we're also linking, as you can see there, one guy to another band.
Yeah,
and it's not that
his former project, now his solo album.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not that it's so much deliberate. It just happened to work out that way, especially with the format of the show now, because they each have one album. And it's kind of hard when you're doing the format we normally do. If you're going to do 2 bands, but they only got one album, it's kind of hard to really just focus on. It's almost like you're giving too much coverage to one album. We just want to tease you and show you a little leg. We don't want to show you too much.
Strip tease. Burlesque.
Maybe it's our age group, but although I've been to strip clubs, Tone, where And enough of that.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't get into too much of that right
Let's get into Dave Kerzner.
Well, I do want to give a shout out also to Scott Oliver, who we had an email from him last week, and he had some nice things to say, and he's been in touch again. And he also said, we need to get Dave Kerzner. So here you go, Scott. And who was the other fellow? Paul Durwang. Yeah. We got Dave Kerzner, guys. So
all these listeners, John, I don't know what we're going to do. I'm suddenly self-conscious.
I'm getting excited. It's like we've been saying, oh, nobody emails us. No, well, people are starting to email us.
Yeah, well, it's because we're starting to get listeners after a year finally almost. But these are the nice kind of emails we want to get.
Yeah, these are great emails.
Input's going to help make the show better, guys. So those of you who submitted, again, we can't thank you enough. Those of you who haven't, please sit down. Let us know what you think. Throw some names at us. It's like one of the guys, I guess the first guy we're going to do today, Dave Kerzner, he come highly recommended from a couple people. And because of that, we have some really good music to play.
We do. Do you want to talk a little bit about Dave Kerzner?
Yeah, let's just get into the music.
Just play the song first?
However you want to do it. You want to flip a coin, whatever you want to do. Because supposedly we're going to keep the talk to a minimum, and as you can see, that's not working out real well with the outset.
Well, we had emails to cover, didn't we? I mean, come on, All right, well, I think we got to give a little background before we play the tune. Dave Kerzner has been kicking around in the music biz since the early 90s, and he actually started out collecting rare musical instruments, and then he, when 16-bit sampling became possible, he actually sampled his rare instruments and licensed them to major digital musical instrument manufacturers who are making keyboards such as Yamaha, Roland, and Alesis. And I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, when you find guys like this flying under the radar, and they're kind of like behind the scenes, and they do stuff like this. It's like the HB3 guy. I can't remember.
Yeah, Hugh
Bonner really loved his music, and you see he was playing that
piccolo bass.
Piccolo bass. And with Kerzner, it's almost very similar. You got these guys flying under the radar, and they shouldn't be.
Right.
He might have been doing that.
It's like an interesting inroad into the music industry if that's kind of how he did it.
And and you get, I guess people say, you should maybe get some music out there.
Well, he also founded his own sound development company called Sonic Reality.
Oh, yeah,
in 1996, and in 2001 he teamed up with IK Multimedia to offer some of the sounds he had created for keyboard workstations via various computer software programs. So this guy is really into the whole sound aspect. He's a great keyboard player, and he kicked around. He worked with Simon Collins on one of his solo albums, and they did a neat cover of Keep It Dark, which I heard, and I thought it was pretty interesting. Because Simon does sound a bit like the old man. Not exactly, but there's just certain times when you really hear that he is his father's son.
Yeah, when we get into I'll talk
Sound
a little
of
bit
Contact.
About that.
Yeah,
I have some interesting analogies about that.
But for right now, let's move on. Let's get to the Dave Kerzner track. This is from his album called New World, which was released in 2014, and the song that I selected is called Nothing.
Then we your twisted world. You're high above me, but you're just a frozen girl who cannot love me.
Once again, that was called Nothing from the brilliant solo album New World by Dave Kerzner, released in 2014.
This tune was a very interesting album, and the reviews, one quote says, a rich kaleidoscope of color, sound, and texture. And there were three bands, and listening to this, it reminded me of. One was Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd, obviously. I think a lot of the vocals, the dreamy, airy kind of vocals, absolutely.
Another was Alan Parsons.
Well, yeah, that would kind of fall in there as well.
And there was an ELO sound. And this song, Nothing, reminded me of ELO.
Yeah, I guess so.
It did.
It's a good, catchy tune. I really liked it. The first time I heard it, I fell in love with it.
Which is something that I've noticed on the album. The albums have longer pieces, and of course, everybody knows Dave likes the longer pieces. By Dave, I mean me. The longer songs I wrote here, they sound like they're Pink Floyd compositions. The shorter songs sound like Alan Parsons compositions. And then there's the odd ELO song in here. And one of the things I also like that goes on here is some of the, the guitar playing. It's on here. Mm-hmm. It's not as rich as Gilmour, but it's not supposed to be because you want your own sound. And my favorites were actually the opening, and 2 songs in, I've got stars all over the place. I'm like, wow, I love this. Great mood of great proggy jams without show, but it was just, wow, I'm really hooked in. And then the shorter compositions came, and I'm not a big fan of the shorter compositions. Not that I don't like Alan Parsons, but they did seem kind of popish to me. And I really am not into.
You got to pay the bills, Dave.
I understand you got to pay the bills. I understand that, and I'm not saying they're not bad songs. But after the first couple songs, Tone, I still expect something along those lines.
Well, this song is
and he's showing
6 minutes long. I mean, it's still not short by any means.
He's showing us diversity, which is also a good thing. And another thing that is, we could probably reference anybody with their really a first album, because this is really a first album for as long as he's been in the music business. Your first album's always going to be like that, though. It's always going to be. I don't want to say inconsistent, but it's going to be diverse. You want to show off what you can do, what your chops are, and eventually, as albums number 2, 3, and 4 come out, we got a band we're going to be doing soon where it's going to be like that. Next time, Flying Colors. Their first album was kind of like that, but the second album was a lot tighter, and it was more indicative of what I thought a second or third album could be. And as you were fond of saying, it's climbing the mountain, and this is a really, really good start to that mountain.
Oh, I loved it. I think this is a great album. I don't have a problem with shorter songs and songs that have a little bit of a poppy element to them, that catchy. This is how prog is gonna take over the world, man. I think you mentioned Flying Colors, and some of their stuff is really catchy as well.
It does.
Neil Morse, I mean, even a lot of his own solo stuff in the Neil Morse band. I mean, it's almost like I guess on some websites they talk about crossover prog, where it's prog with other elements. So, pop prog would be
I
kind
could
of a
see that.
crossover kind of thing where it's I mean, why should this music be underground? And I can dig that they can do a 27-minute opus and pull it off. That's fantastic. But there's nothing wrong with a short song that's catchy, to the point, and got a great beat, and people like it when the first time they hear it.
But on the other side of the coin, one of the reasons why a lot of us get into prog is because the short, catchy pop songs are kind of annoying,
But
and we
those
want
songs
something
are
involved.
vacuous,
We
and
want
they're on
something a little
albums.
bit more intelligent.
They're vacuous, and they're on albums that are full of more vacuous material. This stuff, I mean, you're putting a shorter song, on with some opus. I mean, you're showing there's a lot more meat to it than your average flavor of the month pop album.
You got to pay the bills, is what you're saying.
You do got to pay the bills.
So,
and I don't fault anyone for making music that's catchy and that people like.
and as for a first album, I'm not saying it's a bad first. I love this album, and obviously since Kerzner's been in the business for a long time, I mean, it shows. It's very professionally done, very just really well engineered and mixed.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just like I said. And in fact, Tone, I even look at some of the music you've done, and you can see a growth from your first album towards your second album. It's a little bit more tight, yeah. Right? And I think that's what we're going to see with Kerzner as he moves along, if he continues to make music, and he should, because the album itself, again, is just absolutely brilliant. I really, really liked it.
Good.
I got stars on
brilliant.
A lot of the songs. I didn't have the star next to the song you picked, though. I do have some stars next to shorter songs, lest you think I'm being totally biased.
This song, I don't understand, Dave. I mean, come on.
I was
right
never
off the bat. Nice beat, nice hook,
I was
nice
never
vocals,
a fan
nice
of ELO.
keyboards. I love it.
I was
this
never
is my
a fan
review.
of ELO.
A great song from a great album. If you haven't got this yet, go buy it. That's my words to you, listener out there. If you haven't got this yet, go buy it.
Well, I would agree with that.
It's blown me away
assessment.
from the first time I listened to it.
I would agree with that assessment.
And it's generating a heck of a lot of really good buzz.
I would agree with that. And again, don't misunderstand me. I love this album. I would just be like, if I'm programming my CD player, I'm listening to tracks 1, 2, and 3. Well, 3 is a good one. It's a short song. I got that starred. My Old Friend, track 6, I got starred.
Well, as Gary Oppenheis said, he likes our banter. Well, here's some banter. How's this for you?
Well, see,
anyway.
When you get an album like this, it's kind of 3 different major styles. It's easy. It's easy to banter.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's a great album. And actually, Tone, if we're moving along to Simon Collins' band next, maybe we should have done him first, because that album was in 2013. This is 2014. But in the research that I did with Kerzner and Collins working on that, some of the music they decided not to put on that album. They made it a single album instead of a double, and they were holding back some of the music. And because Kerzner went out and did this, I was kind of wondering how much of this was left over
from that. That's an interesting thought. But we need to move along. We were supposed to be keeping the talk more to a minimum and playing more music.
Okay, we'll keep it to a minimum next
So
time.
Anyway, we were speaking of great music and brilliant albums, and I wanted to go back to one that we featured earlier this year. We were lucky enough to have it before the rest of the world and debut some of it here on Prog-Watch back in January. And it's Grand Tour from their album Heavy on the Beach. And this is getting a heck of a lot of good buzz lately, a lot of good reviews. We're going to play another cut from that album. And the song we're going to play is called The Grand Tour Part 1.
bomber swoop and dive. Can the emptiness fill the spaces dreams have left? As we walk towards the beaches, remembering things past, we hold each other's hands as memories come flooding back. While echoes of today will fade away into obscurity. Destruction of cruel seduction grips us as insanity rules and hatred separates us. Watching the generals only need to press a button faceless. They never learn lessons, but then what else matters? Send the enemy fighters forward to a needless slaughter, ideologically driven onwards to a future sorrow. Who cares if we win? What else matters? The enemy dead and shattered, broken bones in the gutter. Mankind futures lost and scattered to the stars and stripes that cool against the
And again, that was called the Grand Tour Part 1 from the band Grand Tour from their Heavy on the Beach album, which was just released this year.
This song, Tone, I've got a note that says, this is evidence that skilled songwriters are in charge here. Brilliant, brilliant song. I have it starred. I love it. The whole album. And as the regular listeners of the show will notice, we have fawned over Ian Lucasen. We fawn over, I've always, Adrian Jones from
Norlander.
Nine Stones Close, Eric Norlander. Hugh Montgomery is going to be on the list now. Anything this guy touches is gold.
Whew.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not disagreeing. It's brilliant. You know,
you mean you're speechless
I
at all
think
my
that,
wonderful comments?
Also, that Shooting Albatross album from Abel Gans, the last one he did
please.
with them, was brilliant as well.
Well, we'll talk about that for the next half hour if you don't change the subject.
Yeah, we better change the subject.
Because that was a brilliant album.
Here's my review. Attempting to keep the talk to a minimum, I tried to keep my review short. Another great track from a great album. We were lucky enough to hear it and preview it for you before it was released, and we told you it was great then, and it's still great now. Go buy it. Another one that blew me away and is really generating a lot of good buzz.
This whole, again, Ton, I got stars all over the page here on this. This is just an absolutely brilliant. Montgomery left Abel Gans to do this, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And I was disappointed, especially after hearing Shooting Albatross, but I'm telling you what. It's like I said, with Lucasen, Eric Norlander, again, I love Adrian Jones, Nine Stones Close, and of course our go-to guy, Steve Hackett.
Steve Hackett, right.
But Hugh Montgomery has made my list. He has crept up into the top 5 new guys that if his name is on it, I am buying it.
All right.
So how's that for commentary?
That's a concise commentary.
Okay,
Dave.
we kept it to a minute.
We did.
I would be remiss if I did not mention
remiss?
Mark Spalding.
Oh,
loved
absolutely.
his guitar playing on there. Again, anything.
Joe Kearney, all the guys, and they're all such good guys too. I think I mentioned this before. All these guys, I've had email contact with them, and they're my friends on Facebook now and stuff. And they're engaged. They, Joe Kearney liked the picture that I put up from my parents' 50th anniversary. It was really cool to me to see that he bothered to do that. You know?
It's just really cool that they even say, yeah, go ahead and play our music. And you're getting responses like that.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm telling you what, I am just, as a guy who's 55 now, I've kind of, what do they call them, bucket list? My bucket list is pretty much complete, especially with the emails that we got from Steve Hackett. I can go to my grave tomorrow, Tony, happy guy.
Not me. I want to get to Scotland and meet these dudes and drink some really good Scottish beer because I love English and Scottish beers. But anyway, we're keeping the talk to a minimum. So we're going to roll on. We're going to roll on to Mystery.
Okay.
Canadian band Mystery with Gary Savoy, I suppose, and crew. And what do we have? Michel Saint-Pierre as kind of the driving force. Eventually Benoit David ended up singing in this group, but he's coming on the next album. So we're getting up to the Benoit David era. This is still the Gary Savoy.
Yeah, keeping with our pattern of reviewing the bands almost biographically.
Yeah, chronologically.
Chronologically.
Yeah.
I guess is a better word. This is their third album.
Yep.
It's the last album they did with Guy Gary Savoy. And of the 3, again, like we talked about at the outset, Tone, about climbing that mountain, this was out of the 3, and that's how you win it. Album number 3 is continuing with that climb.
Better than 2, which was better than 1. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to play a track from this album. The name of the album was Destiny. It was released in 1998, and the name of the song that I selected is Queen of Vajra Space.
She's very quiet, you never say. Go in her village and hear what they say. She saw the queen of Vajra space. line. He leaves his place, for everyone knows here all rumors sing. He saw the Queen of Vajra's peace.
It's a miracle he came
Soon the war began again. The words were all forgotten. What the world would need to see is wait until another prophet dies. Here and now they stand, speaking words of wisdom to our children. Something of believing in the land of the rising sun. Our faith is rising in the hand of the rising sun.
Okay, again, that was Queen of Vajra Space by Mystery from their 1998 Destiny album. And one thing I want to mention before we get into it, I said Michel St. Pierre. It's St. Pierre, I believe is... I'm not very good at the French ones.
I leave all the pronunciations of you, Tone.
I'm
Even though I'm a
sorry,
big hockey
Michelle,
fan.
Michael, whatever, you know. At least we know a Benoit and we know a Dupuis when we see one. But we're not very good at these names. But we're good at parsing the music.
The
Yes.
universal language of music. Remember,
That's
Toad,
right.
in Close Encounters, the aliens communicated
That's
with
right.
music. They didn't bother with names.
That's right.
It was all communication with music. And nice selection. I got this one starred as well, too. It's a lengthy piece. The guitars, the violin. Some of the stuff
Right.
on here actually reminded me of the rhythm guitars, Hemispheres from Rush.
Okay.
I heard that Rush
That's
type
funny
of
you
flavor
mentioned
and
that.
influence in that.
I think on this album, I think we had a little disagreement about who Gary sounds like last time. You were saying you thought he sounded more like Steve Perry. I think I hear on this album, I hear more of a fellow Canadian, Rick Emmett from Triumph. There's a lot of Rick Emmett quality to Gary's voice here, and I'm sticking with that.
I actually think Steve Perry's a way better singer than Rick Emmett. And I had the pleasure of seeing Triumph live when they were in
And I
Pittsburgh in
never cared
'81,
for Perry
and
that
I loved
much.
them. I liked Steve Perry, especially the early Journey stuff. It's just that I just think he's a better singer than Rick Emmett. As for what Gary's doing here, it's the same thing. It's just brilliant vocals. I can see a little bit of Rick Emmett in and out. You said it. I never thought about Emmett when we did
I
the
think
show
I was
last
trying
time.
to hint around to that last time, but I just couldn't put my finger on it.
That's because you're
Or
getting
maybe it's
old and
more
you can't
developed.
remember.
Maybe by the third album it was more developed. You know?
It is, and in fact, because we did cover, Mystery before Town, this was an opportunity, like as we talk about, going back and
Go
listening to
back,
something
yeah.
again. And when I listened to it the other day again, I was able to throw 3 or 4 more stars on here that weren't on there before. And it's the only disadvantage we have is not being able to, again, really just sit down and absorb the music.
Well, I'm hoping that the new format's going to allow us to do a little more of that.
It could. It definitely could. Because the second time around, I really liked this album better than I did the first time around. I think the music's tighter. I love the sound better. And I just love the way they actually play the rhythm guitars on here. It's perfect. It's subtle. And like I say, it reminds me of the way Alex Lifeson does some of the stuff on early Rush.
Okay. I guess...
Good job, guys. Good job.
Yeah, great cut. I liked it. I guess we're going to move on, though. We're going to feature some Sound of Contact now. And as Dave and I were talking about before, this is actually Dave Kerzner, Simon Collins. Who else did we have in this?
Kelly Nordstrom and Matt Dorsey.
Okay. Glad you were on the ball with that instead of me fishing through my notes. Yeah, it was a band put together, I guess, by Simon and Dave pretty much. But but it's, you know, it was very interesting. It's kind of a concept album of like an interdimensional astronaut. So the name of the album is Dimensionaut, and it kind of tells the story of this interdimensional traveler. But we're going to go ahead and play a song, and we'll talk about it afterward. And the song that we're going to play is called Not Coming Down. Again, this is Sound of Contact from their Dimensionaut album, 2013.
You crossed the line, you walked the edge one last time. Close the door, lock the gate, spin the wheel, twist your fate. Heard the call, walk the wall, cut the rope and watch us fall. In a cloud, take a look around. You're so high, you're not coming down. Rope the reins, fading away. You're so high, you're not coming down. You've no regard for who's around you. Spinning out with no escape in a world of a different shape. It's all the same, it's all the same. You go back from where you came. In a cloud, take a look around. You're so high, you're not coming down. Rope the reins, fading away. You're so high, you're not coming down. You're so high, not coming down.
And the group name, Sound of Contact, the album, Dimensionaut, 2013. The name of the track was Not Coming Down.
This is considered, Tone, from what I understand, the first single off the album. And to me, it sounds like something that you would hear on Genesis, Calling All Stations, which, ironically enough,
Okay.
Phil wasn't on that.
Yeah.
That was Tony, Mike, and Ray. I want to say
Yeah.
Walston, Ray Walston from.
That's not it, but I can't remember.
And I can't remember Ray Walton. I can't remember and I can't. This is what happens when you get old, because the band that he came from, I got that album, and that's a really good album. But anyways,
I'm gonna have to check that out.
the song is and by the time you guys email us, believe me and Tim will know.
Yeah.
Because
We'll
I
know
got
as soon as we're
in
done.
fact, my wife loved the CD that he was on. And I was real surprised when Genesis picked him up. And Not Coming Down sounds like you could throw it on Calling All Stations and it would actually fit right in. And in fact, a lot of the songs on here, Tone, to me, sounded like it would come from that type of album.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, Simon doesn't sound exactly like the old man, but he does sound a bit like him in a lot of places on this album. And to me, that's never going to be a bad thing.
I think it sounds better in a lot of places.
Yeah, he does have his own voice. I mean, he...
To make it simple, no, Phil to me sounds like if you watch a guy play tennis, that would be Phil. Simon sounds like a guy, you'd see him play like middle linebacker.
Okay.
It sounds like there's more strength in his voice, is what I'm saying. It's more manly, if that's what more masculine. But you're right. You can hear it. Sometimes it stands out. Sometimes it doesn't. Some of the tracks that I liked on the song, of course, were the longer ones, as always. And what you said at the outset, Tone, about it being a concept album, a guy traveling through dimensions, you didn't say why. He's traveling, chasing after his soulmate. And some of the songs on here, I actually have in my notes. This is the type of music your girlfriends will enjoy.
Maybe they were trying to go for that female prog audience, huh?
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's a good album.
Yeah, it is a good album.
a
Very
good
good album.
album.
I liked it a lot. I was pretty excited when I found this and heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good album. Like I said at the outset, Tone, when we were covering Kerzner, if some of the songs were held back and Kerzner went off to make his own stuff, because Kerzner's album, you didn't say, that was a concept album too. And similar to this type of a Traveler, maybe not interdimensional, but
maybe not as much of I don't know. I just didn't see as much of a concept there.
So, that's what the liner note, so to speak,
right.
said. So you kind of wonder, you have to wonder, did Kerzner take some of the stuff with them, or is his album an elaboration a little bit more on some of the stuff that was not used
like
here?
you said, maybe some of the pieces were
We don't
left
know.
over and rebuilt. Whatever.
And these guys, Sound of Contact, again, it's not like they're flying under the radar. They have toured with Maroyan. They've toured with Spock's Beard. So it's not like there's some Joe Schmo band jamming away in somebody's basement.
Right. But a good album. I hope they followed up. I understand Dave's kind of bowed out, but I hope Simon and the rest of the guys forge on, because I think it was pretty good. Also, I want to mention that I have a couple of Simon solo albums, and they're really good too.
See, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Did not know. You didn't clue me in on that.
Yeah.
Whole night, man.
I don't tell you everything,
The
Dave.
whole night.
Yeah.
That's because I'm the guest. The guest always gets the crappy room, the crappy bed, with the bed bugs in, got to sleep in the kids' room, or the kids maybe have bedwetting problems. That's the guest, That's
Well, anyway, we got one more song we got to fit in today on this.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, we're going to play something from a relatively new band. I think they're brand new. They're called Armed Cloud. They're out of
Holland, I think.
Holland again, yes.
And they play the type of music that a guy like me really likes.
Yeah, you're going to find this to be a lot more along the lines of, say, Night Area, with a little more kicking.
A little.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're going to go ahead and do it. And, the name of the song, Jealousy with a Halo. Once again, that was Jealousy with a Halo by Armed Cloud from their forthcoming album. Dave, what?
Obsidian Desert.
Okay.
Released May 9th. It'll be released this May.
Yeah, it's coming out yet. I think originally when I got in touch with these guys, they were still shopping around trying to find a record company. But I think since then they have.
If they've got a release date,
yeah,
something's going on there. This is Jealousy with the Halo Tone. It's their single. You can see it on YouTube. It's a video. Dutch symphonic rock band. So Tony can't find his notes. He is actually leaving me with trying to pronounce you guys' names. So,
well, I know Dan Decker is the
he's the guy that
singer.
sings all the wonderful songs.
And Walter and
Remco van der Veen.
Okay.
Walt's on the guitars. Remco's on the keys. I guess they're brothers. Dan Decker sings. Boris Survey on the bass. Enrico Nguyen, I guess that's a good guess as any. He's banging away in those drums. Again, I love this song tone. The openings are a little quick, like Magic Carpet Ride, and then it explodes. That's what I have. Explodes. Great guitar playing. Dan Decker, who does the singing, to me sounds a little bit like Jeff Tate from Queensryche.
Okay.
I can hear him from Operation Mindcrime, Rage for Order, Empire. Their Facebook page, they've got a Facebook page up and running. They actually give a shout out to Tony, thanking him for playing the song.
They were thanking me before I did it.
They characterize themselves as in-your-face guitar riffs, catchy melodies, thick grooves, and atmospheric sound.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we got something to listen to come May 10th.
I want to hear the rest of it. I wish they would have sent me the rest of it. We could have given a little more in-depth idea of what,
Well, that'll be one of those shows down the road.
I hope so. I hope that we can get this on when it's officially released, or if they want to send us an early copy, we would never be opposed to that.
For those of you who like your rock loud, this is it, guys.
Yeah, this had some prog turns to it, I think, but I'm curious to see what the rest of it is. If they're saying like symphonic, I want to hear, an atmospheric. This was more like kick you in the face to me. Yeah.
As you say, it's a single, and you got to pay the bills. So I'm going to throw that back in your face. Right. Got to pay the bills.
You do.
All right.
But here, I guess we're saying this is on the watch list here. But again, something to watch for. Armed
May
Cloud.
9th, watch it.
Yeah.
Watch it for May 9th.
And check it out on Facebook.
Check it out on Facebook.
YouTube video, Dave saying, yeah.
Yep. Check us out on Facebook. Like us on Facebook.
Follow on Twitter. Prog-Watch. I guess that's going to just about do it. We did pretty decent at keeping it down. We had to talk
really fast. Although I didn't talk as fast as this, because if you talk as fast as this, then we can get maybe in all the things that we want to say.
End of a car commercial or something.
That guy who used to do the commercial, he talked real fast.
Yeah,
those of you old enough in the States to remember that.
Right. That's going back a ways. But anyway, I guess we're going to say prog on.
Yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoy the new format. We'll get back to it sometime soon. In the meantime, have a good one, guys. We'll see you next time.